If you're a new player, sign in. If you're a returning player, click your name on the list. When you're done, click OK. Click OK. Nickonos! Use the brain controls to customize. To play Nickonos, first select your favorite background and characters, then print your Nickonos and lay them on a table so the faces match up end to end. You can also use the print button to print a puzzle sheet that you try to solve by yourself or with friends.
Two. 3.
Toon Maze. Dancing Toons. With Dancing Toons, you can make your favorite Nickelodeon characters dance. Click on the dance step buttons at the bottom of the screen to make the toon dance. And don't forget the button with the footprints. That's your special move. Toon Draw. With Toon Draw, you can teach yourself to draw your favorite Nickelodeon characters. Select a character, then print the instructions so you can practice. You can also click on the video camera button to learn from the Nickelodeon artists.
See, Winslow's head is basically the shape of like a giant egg, essentially. And he's roughly, in the animation terms, called 2 heads high, meaning if you measured his head from top to bottom here and move that down one down here, he'd be basically 2 heads of his whole head would take up his entire length of his body. So he's definitely has a very large head. He's got, his ears are different shapes too. I think this one is longer and skinnier and this one's big. This Winslow's he's a fun character because he's a real, he likes to stir the pot. He loves dog and likes to get under cat's skin. And he's really a kind of a casual observer. Hands are usually in the pockets. He likes to watch. He likes to sum up the situation and then kind of step in, throw in his 2 cents about what's going on and walk off and watch the fireworks. And one thing about Peter's characters when he draws them I always thought was really, really funny is that he always puts a human nose on everything. Peter also likes putting little round teeth on everything. Peter's a very funny man. He has a little feet here that just pitter-patter around. Put a little shading here for a little bit there, and then we'll give him a little drop shadow action here. There he is.
The first time I thought of cat dog, it was to be used in a book. It was going to be a cat dog that was a character that was a superhero with a man's body and a cat on one side and a dog on the other side on his shoulders, called The Amazing Cat Dog Man. And that was never published in a book, but then later on when I was trying to think of an idea for a cartoon, that idea came back to me. But I instead made like a long body like cat dog you see today. Cat's head was a little rounder than it is now, and dog's nose is a little bit smaller, and he didn't look quite the same. Then after this stage, I did a lot of different versions of really wacky kinds of cat dogs, and finally came back to something that was pretty similar to this, but cat's head ended up being squarer, and dog's nose ended up being bigger. You got a little scratchy patch around dog's eye, but they're pretty simple. It's pretty simple and easy to draw and easy to animate. This whole thing is a dream come true. I mean, every day I get to just think stuff up, you know, and it's like there's nothing that could be more fun than that. It's a great job.
Cat's head is basically like a rectangle. It's like a box. And I always divide it up real nicely. Dog's head is basically just two set of circles with a cone. His nose is like a big cone. And cat's nose goes right below this center line, and eyeballs are almost egg-shaped right in here. His lip comes up here in a big fat smile. Just angle him back a little bit to give him feeling a little tension here. Dog, you just divide up the head again and two big eyes. Big smile, and the ear comes right off of this line at the top of the head. Eyebrows are up here, nice and expressive. Ears are always angled back. I think it ends up giving him a little more of a kind of a comforting look than really angry. Although the ears can be used around for anything you want. And the dog has 3 little hairs on his head. Floating eyebrows are very important. Big silly smile. Big purple nose. Sometimes I use the side of the pencil to shade in things, larger shapes. They're there, and that's Cat Dog.
I created Arnold about 10 years ago when I was working on Pee-wee's Playhouse. I made 3 little short films starring Arnold, and he never says a word. He hears things and daydreams, images. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. He started as a clay character, and he was flat, and I was shooting him on glass. And I made that football shape for his head, and that was fine. But then when I was going to draw him in a cartoon, I had to be able to turn him around and see what he looked like from the side, and it was a lot more complicated, and we had to draw and draw and draw until we got what we wanted. So here's your basic Arnold pose. You know, he's pretty much facing you head on, and just like when I made him out of clay. But then when you start to turn him, a football on its side doesn't look like much, does it? It's like a circle when you turn it on its side. Then you just try to make him look like a kind of a nice-looking kid and not too freaky.
So Arnold's nice to draw because it's made out of some nice simple shapes, like a football for his head and a big, long, bent ice cream cone for his body, but it's upside down. He has little tubes for legs, and they kind of end in a couple of kidney beans. Here's his collar. Here's his nose. His mouth, his pupils. Now we can start to add his arms. They're just tubes. We can add his locks. 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. Now we can start rubbing some of it down and making our drawing look a little neater. I like drawing Arnold because he's like a real kid. He's very calm. He thinks about everything really hard, and he's very relaxed. Arnold is wearing a plaid shirt underneath his sweatshirt. That's why it looks like he's wearing a dress sometimes or a skirt. And there you go. So this is Helga. And Helga, like Arnold, has some very simple shapes. They're very easy to draw. She has a perfectly round head. She has a bent cone for a body. And like Arnold, she also has a bean-shaped foot. If you think of her nose as a great big toe, it's easier to draw. And then we draw egg shapes for her eyes. And she's usually angry, so we're going to give her an angry scowl. And this shape says she's angry. I like drawing Helga a lot because she goes from angry to happy and in love faster than anybody else in the world. She's so emotional. Like Arnold, she has tubes for arms. You can just draw a block, a square for her hand to start, especially since she's angry. She's making a fist. The sleeve of her shirt. Sleeve of her shirt here. And her pigtails. Her bow, which is just a little circle with a bow sticking out of it. What's interesting about her height is she's in love with Arnold, and it makes them an unlikely pair that this tall, more statuesque girl would be in love with such a short, diminutive kid. She loves him, I think, because he's the opposite of her.
I usually like to kind of break down Tommy into about 4 sections. And from there, Tommy has this sort of bump on his head, and that's what I usually start doing. And what we'll do is we'll just fill in the rest of his head this way. And he's got a little chin, and we're using these sections as sort of a guide. We'll position his mouth, which is basically right over this line. And we'll give him a little smile, because Tommy's a happy boy. And then we'll fill in the rest of his mouth. And his ears appear right here. And it's another circle, and we have his ears. And he'll put his nose over there. And then for his eyes are oval shaped. And I'm drawing basically 2 ovals. And then we'll just put a couple eyebrows on top. And then we'll put pupils. We'll connect that with a little neck. He has a short neck. Imagine a sort of a teardrop shape. And basically that's Tommy's body. And then here is where Tommy's shirt is. And he usually shows a little bit of his cute little stomach here. And then we'll cut that in half and we'll put his belly button in. And we'll put Tommy's hands. His feet sticking out of the diaper. And the one cute feature about Tommy is that he has crocked feet. Put a little shadow on the bottom here. Put a little shadow under his nose. But basically, that's how you draw Tommy Pickles. We'll break down our circle into about 4 different sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got this pronounced bump on his head, which is quite a bit more pronounced than Tommy's. One feature that sort of makes him stand out is his wonderful, real big floppy ears. He's got a little bit of a cute cheek over here, and then we'll see the other side of his ear over here. Let's put in his nose, and he's got this little itty bitty pug nose. Where the ear ends right here, we'll give him a little bit of a smile. And then he's got basically the same kind of eyes as Tommy, oval-shaped eyes, so we'll put an eye here. I started drawing fairly early. I believe I was around 6 or 7 years old. My brothers, I have 2 brothers who also draw, and we sort of kind of grew up watching cartoons. And we always, after watching cartoons, try to sort of emulate what we see on TV. When I grew up as a teenager, I decided that this is something that's pretty cool. And, I could make a living out of it and at the same time really have fun. Fortunately, that's come to pass, and I'm really enjoying what I do. Bill's got these really large, pronounced curls. When things get real tense between the Rugrats, he's always the one that's there to sort of break that up. Got a little bit of drool coming out, and of course he's a baby.
And, you know, he tends to drool a lot. And he tends to just basically obsess with two things, and that is to eat and sleep. And that's still Pickles for you.
My name's Becky Bristow. I'm a director on the Wild Thornberries for Klasky Chupo. The directing is the most fun for me. A lot of people just like to do the animation. They like to do the acting. I love the teamwork. I love overseeing the team. It's real important to have a good, strong, enthusiastic team of storyboard artists. This is the thumbnail phase of storyboarding. It's the very first part of the process where the artists are putting down their thoughts in very quick, efficient ways to get the shot structure from one scene to the next. What we see here are the cleaned up phase of the thumbnails. And it's more thought out. The shading is figured out, how the light is supposed to be for the animators in Korea to then do. And the acting poses, it's just more complicated, more thought out panels.
I really want to start out light. Maybe throw down a little center line. You always want to start with a line of action, and Eliza's line of action in this case will be almost straight vertical. Her leg might be back, and you don't have to worry about perfect lines right away. Maybe we want to start thinking about where her glasses could be. Eliza's got 6 little braided areas here. She always, or usually always, wears a little cropped dress, and that's kind of like in the shape of a triangle. Her hair kind of divides her face, her forehead, excuse me, in half. Her braids have a line that it rests on. That's kind of like so. You want to get nice and angular. She's a cute little kid. She's a know-it-all though. And she's got 2 braces right there. Not a straight line, a little bit curved there. She's got a little indentation there at the bicep, forearm area. Here's one of the tougher parts of drawing. It's called the hands. She could have like maybe a little monarch butterfly, which are almost everywhere on this planet. And there you have Eliza. And this is Darwin. Gonna do a rough little construction of his torso and body, which kind of looks like a little mound, like that. This is his shoulder. That will swing down roughly to about there. His arm, which are very long, will be going into a little bitty bag here. Keep drawing light because it's pretty much impossible to draw these guys perfectly the first time. And this will actually represent a row of teeth. He has some really long ears. Throw a little ball here, swing it down. Maybe some horizontal lines, keeping them kind of parallel, but at the end, actually round them around the figure, and that'll give your drawing some nice dimension. And follow this closely. You do a little S shape in the nose. It leads to a nostril. Follow it around like so. That is not an easy nose to draw, so you might require a little practice first. You're going to find 3 hairs, 1, 2. Make the last one really small, and it looks like it's coming forward to you. Make this tooth small, and have them get larger as they come towards you. Make this tooth small and larger. We don't see most of the hand. What we do see is the quickly torn bag of cheese crunchies that this guy has jumped into while nobody's looking. So now we're starting to draw his fingers. Notice one pops out because maybe we're not just going to make every finger perfect. In real life, it's very rare to see that. On the inside, he's almost got an equivalent to a human thumb. He, of course, in his haste, has dropped a whole bunch of these little cheese crunchies on the ground. And that's Darwin.
The Angry Beavers started out as two politically incorrect beavers. They hated everything that was faddish and that was contemporary. The beavers originally looked like one another, except their colors were different. But I thought, you know, we should have a different look for one of the brothers so you can kind of tell the difference. I decided to give Norbert the shag carpet head because he's the clean freak. Well, I've drawn since I was 2, and my mother has the picture hung on her wall. In about 5th grade, I decided that maybe I should do something with this. I learned how to do animation when I was 8. My uncle showed me a flip book. So I did a flip book and I was hooked. One of the things I've learned is that if you don't keep drawing, you lose the ability. And then your eyesight fades and you become bald and old and you lay down. So that's why I draw. Keep drawing, kids. I've been asked which character is hardest to draw, and it probably has to be Norbert, just because Norbert has all of his hair. But if you could shave Norbert, he'd look just like Daggett. And by the way, we have shaved Norbert before, and he does look like Daggett, but he sure looks strange too. Because Norbert's known for his hair, and he's very proud of his hair. A lot of artists have trouble drawing Norbert for this simple reason, is because he's got all this jagged pompadour hairstyle. He's got these little jaggies all over. He's just kind of a hairy guy. Daggett's easier to draw because if you could feel his hair, it'd be kind of prickly. Almost like a porcupine. Of course, you always have to draw Norbert with an attitude. And there you have Norbert.
When you draw his eyes, he has these like little wrinkles that kind of curve off. The thing about being a professional is you're actually learning how to draw someone else's style. Kind of learn all the little shapes. Because basically, you know, that's what the Beavers are, is these unique graphic shapes. One thing I learned from, you know, Mitch was that this is kind of curved. You can kind of do that. So then you get this nice feeling of movement. That. And then with Dag's feet, they look like teardrops. Ever since I was a kid, I knew I was going to be an artist. I just didn't know how to go about it. And I got involved in doing comic books when I was 19. In comic book art, you're responsible for everything. I mean, you're the director, you're the prop guy, you're the storyboard artist. Here, my responsibilities are just taking care of the Beavers. My part's important, but so is the timer, the storyboard artist, prop. I mean, we all, you know, work together to, you know, make a show, and it's kind of amazing when it all comes together. Yeah. Daggett has these hairs that come like this. And then he has a couple long hairs here. And then 3 dots, and they make like a triangle shape. Thing is with the hair is trying to stagger it and not make it all even. And that's stag it.
Toon Maker. With Toon Maker, you can create your own cartoons by moving characters and props around the screen. Then, give them something to say by typing funny stuff in their speech bubbles. Mad Lobes. Mad Lobes. You're a huge monster and you're hungry. What do you want to eat? What sound does a water balloon make when it bursts? Where's the grossest place you can find a slimy snail? There's a thunderstorm and the lights go out. Who could show up to make you feel better? You're... Look out! You just sat on a pizza! Yuck! Now your pants are... you